Alireza Firouzja, one of the best chess players in the world already, and really one of the most talented players of his generation, is finally back. He's playing now in the Airthings Masters of the Champion Chess Tour in 2023, and this Champion Chess Tour is, of course, a series of chess events that will happen now through the whole year. So far, Alireza is playing the preliminary rounds, which are now taking place, and Alireza is already at the top. I'm not sure, in one particular moment he was in the lead, then Gukic took the lead. So as I'm recording this video, probably maybe Alireza is still on the top and he will qualify for the next round. But I'm really glad that Alireza is back, because I really missed him in the last couple of months, because he didn't play so many tournaments and he didn't play the big events like the Tata Steel chess event, for instance. He didn't participate in that event. I really missed him there, because I really love to see a new beautiful sharp tactical game in classical time format chess between Alireza and maybe Magnus Carlsen, or maybe I would love to see a new clash of the future titans, sort of, because I think there is now huge beautiful generation of chess players like Alireza, Pragnananda. So I would really love to see a new clash, maybe between Alireza and Pragnananda, or maybe Alireza versus Gukic, or Alireza versus Arjun Erigaisi. So this, I think, will be very important matches in the continuation of chess. So in my opinion, really, I'm a little bit sad that I really didn't see now many games by Alireza, but now he's back. He has probably good reason why he didn't play in this chess event. So let's see now one beautiful gameplay by Alireza from this Airthings Masters preliminaries. It's a gameplay between Alireza and Xiangyu from China. Also a strong grandmaster, but here this was simply a mismatch, I think, because here in this particular game, Alireza shows here great attacking skills, also a great preparation. If you're bothered, if you have trouble maybe to play against the French defense, I think this is a perfect example how to dismantle, how to destroy this annoying opening here with the white pieces. So let's see now the game. Alireza opened with the move e4, and the tempo of this chess event is 10 plus 2, so you have 10 minutes on the clock and 2 seconds increment per move. So after move e4, here Xiangyu played the e6, and after move d4, we have now the move d5, and here Alireza goes into the advanced variation of the French defense. So we have now this blocked out pawn structure. You see white is attacking the king side, of course, black is attacking simply the queen side. So we have here the move c5 by Xiangyu. We have c3, fixing the structure in the center, knight to c6. So as usual, black is continuing now the pressure here on the queen side, knight to f3. We have bishop to d7, and now after bishop to e2, basically there are 3 good choices in my opinion here for black. Black can continue the pressure with a6 and maybe with b5. This is the normal plan. You're continuing your pressure on the queen side. Knight to e7 with maybe knight to g6 ideas are also working for black. Then you want to delay here the tension in the center of the board, because what you're waiting for from black's perspective is maybe this idea, d takes c5, and then your bishop comes out with the tempo. So basically you don't want to touch anything. But also c takes d4 is a good opportunity, maybe opening the c file, rook to c8 and similar stuff is also working here for black. But okay, here the continuation, knight to e7 was played by Xiangyu. We have knight to a3. This move is possible because when the knight is coming on e7, it's covering, of course, your own bishop, and there is now no threat after maybe c takes d4. And if the knight maybe moves bishop to a3, it's also in some occasions a good choice, because you can now mess up the pawn structure. You can maybe double up the pawn structure on the a file. But now knight to a3 is possible, because you will reroute the knight to c2, and maybe from that square you can also reroute it to e3, maybe g4. So you have a great path for the knight. So in the continuation, knight to g6. So you see now c takes d4, opening the diagonal, maybe pick up the knight on a3 is also now realistic chance. But now Alireza goes aggressively into the game with this stunning move, h4, attacking the knight on g6 immediately after c takes d4. Here Xiangyu played bishop to b4, and this wasn't really maybe the best continuation. I like simply this choice, bishop to a3. Bishop to a3 is, in my opinion, slightly better, because okay, you played this kind of idea in the first place. Okay, this is nothing spectacular, I think, here for black. Maybe you don't have access to the square b4, but I think with the maneuver knight to a5, knight to c4, maybe bishop to b5, rook to c8, you could have a great control here of some squares on the queen side. probably you are vulnerable to some ideas, maybe h5 and similar stuff, h6, maybe you pass through with g6. But as I said, here in the continuation, Xiangyu played here the move bishop to b4, which seems tempting because here Alireza simply steps back. But actually, this king on f1, okay, it's an unnatural idea maybe to secure the king like this, but the pawn structure in the center is blocked out anyway. Here there's nothing going on in the center of the board, so probably the center is not going to get opened. So that's why the king is perfectly fine here on f1, and white is continuing simple with the normal pressure, h4, h5, h6. The bishop is controlling the square, so it's now, I think, simply becoming really a one-way ticket now against black's position. So in the continuation, f6 was played by Xiangyu, and this was now a huge mistake. He should have probably played bishop to e7, retreating now even with the bishop, because okay, if h5 happens, then you have this one. Sorry, I have a call, I'm not going to accept that. Okay, sorry. After move h5, at least you have this defensive resource, knight to h4. You are controlling this h4 square immediately, and look at this. You have a great control with the bishop, but also with the queen. So it's, I think, a good defensive idea. At least you're defending the position for a while. Maybe after something like knight to h4, bishop to h4, maybe h6 is a possibility. But now with g6, I think bishop to e7, we can even castle again. Black should be okay here. But after move king to f1, here Xiangyu played f6, and this is simply not working, because now finally h5 was played by Alireza, and he's now breaking and entering this position. Look at this. What should you do? You can of course play knight to e7, but now after move h6, look at this. The game is basically over. I think after f takes e5, we pick up the pawn on g7. Now you have to play rook to g8, and look at this. After rook to h7, maybe e takes d4, but look at this. How are you going to defend this position? Knight to g5, knight to b5, bishop to h5 is coming. So with one move, the position is opening here. The king is naked on e8. So this is, I think, a position that you can resign immediately. So even if you try here after f takes after move h6, if you play even here g takes h6, then again we'll simply pick up this pawn, and we are opening the position again. The queen could come maybe here to h5, and there are several tactical threats here against the king. So this is not working. So after move h5 that Alireza played, Xiangyu played knight to e5, and it seems maybe like a mistake, but this is actually even the suggested move now by the top engines, because this position is now becoming really wild. After d takes e5 and f takes e5, Xiangyu played now this sacrifice, but he has now three annoying pawns in the center of the board, and these pawns are rolling. Look at this. e4, d4 is coming, maybe then afterwards e5. So these three pawns will just let roll, and of course will attack the minor pieces of whites, maybe d3, e3. So this is the way they go. So it's not so easy for white also to play the game, although you're up a whole piece. But here in the continuation, Alireza kept it calm, played h6, g6, bishop to g5, queen b8, and now he rerouted simply the knight on a better square, attacks the bishop, and now after move bishop to d6, Xiangyu also played an interesting idea. He played now on this queen and bishop battery on the long diagonal, and he's strong now again, e4, d4, and the position could be very, very interesting here for both sides. Although the evaluation is almost +3 for white, but it doesn't matter. I think this is a really fast time format game. Probably many of us would mess this up even with the white pieces. I guarantee you this is not really easy to play. In the continuation, after bishop to d6, knight to h2, we have kingside castling, knight to g4, hitting the square f6, bishop to c5. Look at this. There is now also this tension around the square f2, but now Alireza goes with knight to f6. Here Xiangyu sacrifices the rook for the exchange. After bishop to f6, okay, you're down a whole rook now. It doesn't matter. This rook is not playing. So as I said, it's not so easy really to defend this position. You have to bring, I think, somehow your rook into the game in order to defend everything. Now the queen will come into the game. The rook is coming, of course, into the game through the f-file. Black has, I think, at least some chances here in the game. So here e4 was played, queen to d2 by Alireza, queen to d6, again, as we said, including simply the rook into the game. We have now bishop to h4 by Alireza, and now comes this idea, rook to f8. Look at this, the f2 pawn is now becoming really, really huge problem. Maybe d4, e3 is now also a realistic idea. So really, really a dynamic position already in this early stage of the game. So here king to g1 was played by Alireza. Xiangyu continues with this pawn movement here in the center of the board. We have rook to d1, and now Alireza allows simply the move d3, which is, I think, a great defensive choice. And there is a rule in chess that says sometimes you have to also give back material when you are, of course, having maybe a better continuation, because many of us would start, I don't know, to calculate things, how to get every piece still in the game, how to maybe keep our pieces in the game, but sometimes it's not possible. Really, as a defensive strategy, giving back material is a good choice, because now after move d3 that Xiangyu played, okay, you will probably lose the knight, and even if you lose the knight, or maybe even if you lose the bishop, still white will be up the exchange, but at least we can grab maybe these two annoying pawns in the center of the board, and then black's attacking idea is really falling apart. At least the pawns are not rolling anymore. That's, I think, a great choice what here Alireza did. After move d3, bishop to d3, he takes d3. Now after queen to d3, the position is more and more simplified, although black has still the beautiful bishop pair. Will probably include the knight into the game, but as I said, the position is not so dynamic anymore. It's not so dangerous. In the continuation, we have now queen to f4 here by Xiangyu. He's also trying to get some kind of activity around the square f2. We have here queen to d2 by Alireza Firouzja, which is again a great choice. He's trying to simplify the game by trading off the queens. Queen to f7. Now after queen to d7, Alireza allows this check, and after king to h2, bishop to h4, now comes a beautiful move, rook to f1. This is a great defensive move because it forces basically a further simplification, which is of course good for white. In the continuation, bishop to f6, and after knight to e3, we have now knight to e5 by Xiangyu attacking the queen. Even if you play here bishop to e5, it seems so that maybe something is going wrong. Look at this. White can even go here. King to h3 is solving now every positional problem, because even if queen to d7 happens first, of course we pick up the rook, and after rook to f8 we'll pick up the queen on d7, and now of course there are many pawns on the 7th rank, so this should be a game over here for black. So after knight to e3, we have knight to e5, queen to f7, good move here by Alireza, simplifying again the game. Rook to f7, rook to c1, trying of course to get the rooks further into the game. Knight to c6, knight to g4, attacking the bishop, bishop to g5, rook to d1, rook to f5, rook to e1, hitting now also the pawn on e6. In the continuation, e5, and now g3. Very nice move, including the king into the game, controlling for the f3, and now the rook should just come somehow on the 7th rank again. So here bishop to e7, rook to d7, rook to g5, knight to f2, king to f7, and now basically the game is over. Rook takes b7 here by Alireza, king to e6, king to g2, rook to h5, and after move rook to h1. In this position, Xiangyu resigns. So beautiful game. You see how Alireza is playing the game, and please also check out his other games that he played, because he won 2 games with the black pieces in the King's Indian, and the King's Indian is a little bit forgotten opening. No one dares to play the King's Indian anymore. Alireza played it twice already and had great success. So really, really wild how he's playing the game. He's playing now in sort of a Fischer tactical way. Really, really incredible performance by the young player. So I'm really glad, as I said, that he's back, and I wish him all of the best, of course, in the continuation of the tournament, but also of course of his whole career. So okay, this will be our first game of this chess event. We'll probably cover one beautiful gameplay by Vladimir Kramnik, because he's also playing in this tournament. Be prepared, Vlad is also in top shape here in this beautiful chess event, so it will be incredible what we'll see in this Airthings Masters preliminaries. So okay, what do you say? See you soon with some more videos, and chess is the best, of course.